Welcome to Dojo Slamurai, the only show like this on the internet. My name is Matthew Ray, aka Poppa Slamurai, and I will be your host. Tonight, we got some fantastic chocolate up in the building. I'm so happy because, you know, I love my black people. Delicious. And the first one we have to the chair is Mondrea Harmon. Mondrea Harmon.
Hey. That's your girl, Nikita.
Nikita call you?
Yep.
Tell her to bring your ass over here.
You say less. Once I tell her what I'm into, she gonna be like, and when is my time coming? So I'm telling you, you're gonna have a flood of folk coming through here.
Well, we will see. But right now we talking about Mr. Harmon.
Harmon.
Tell the people about yourself just a little bit before we get started.
I am a son of Chi-Town. I'm a nephew of San Antonio. I believe I was put in San Antonio to bring the true tone to San Antonio. And it ain't. And the biggest thing about me that you will learn is it's not about me. My goal is to help big up all those around me, and help push them to their greatness. I'm a coach, and I know my lane, and my lane is to coach.
Mm-hmm.
When we started doing, I stepped into the scene and I was like, what's missing in San Antonio? I had just jumped out of the poetry scene. I'm doing poetry with J. Ivy, Dina Dean, Emrel, all these killers. J. Ivy just got a Grammy. I want a Grammy. But I wanted to work with the folks here. And I got an education working with the folks here.
What kind of education did you get?
Everybody don't have your heart, and everybody don't rock the way you rock. I've gone to some poetry sets and I'd be like, what in the world? I almost cussed. Sorry about that.
Hold on, nigga, shit, fuck, damn, cunt, asshole. I'm gonna do all the cussing for everybody, bro. This is Dojo Slamurai. We just let it loose.
That name is so cool, Dojo Slamurai. I feel like there used to be like a real cheap kung fu going in the background or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to piss people off.
I hear you.
Especially people that I respect. Like Asian culture. Asian culture is probably some of the most alluring to me out there, even as a child. And
but you know why?
I like the inspiration, and I like the concept of a dojo, but I'm gonna make it what I see as a dojo. The Slamurai is even a combination of slam poet and a samurai. That's where that shit come from. It's a bunch of bullshit still. It's all appellations and names.
I think it's pretty cool. I think when you go back to the very first samurai, he was of African descent in the first place. And them Africans who got up out of Africa because it was too hot in Africa and went across the water and started dealing with rice and started working in that other area. And later on, they got a little lighter, and even Buddha got braids. So come on now. Come on.
Is there a Buddha with braids?
Yes, Buddha.
I need to. So this is where we'll throw that picture up. You know what I'm saying? Like where?
Y'all got one. Get it, man.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me fit it in it. Buddha with braids, right there. And I'll put that in there later. but you were saying
they say and the only reason I'm so familiar with the Asian culture is because when my uncle was in the war, he fell in love with a Japanese woman. That wasn't the coolest thing to do.
Which war?
Right after Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
World War II. So he was sent. Found him a little woman, fell in love. Her parents told her to go to hell if she deal with my uncle. So he brought her back to America, and I had the coolest aunt on the block. Halloween, she make all my costumes.
Oh, nice.
And she did it. I was the lion. I could control the tail and everything. My aunt was the shit. Loved Tomoko to the fullest. But she taught me the culture. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to act, the whole 9 yards. So the respect is due. And that's why again, that whole name of yours, I was like, Slamurai, what in the world? That's pretty cool. I like that. And I'm surprised. You got to come to Chicago, man. I should know you from Chicago. I was praying I knew you from Chicago.
I'm going to Chicago. My oldest daughter, she lives in Chicago. She don't fuck with me right now though. But that's where they from. They got family. And I got a homegirl that's from Chicago. She's a slam. You know her, Ife.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Ife from Chicago. She got a little bit of that street in her. But so speaking of Chicago,
yes, sir.
Being black in San Antonio, coming from Chicago, what's that like? What's that? What's that like for you, bro?
Okay. See, this is the point of the program when you choose your words wisely. Truth be told, I actually, when I got divorced, I moved back to Chicago. But the feeling that I had from being here was different. It's not as fast as New York here, but it's not as slow as being like in Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah.
It was a perfect mixture that I could see my man on a horse and be in the car and go to the neighborhood store and things of that nature. But it's slow here. It's slower here. And now that I'm older, I can appreciate it. When I moved back to Chicago, that thing don't never change. The kids go to school mad. They got that rah-rah and they ready. They was like, they come out the womb with the rah-rah. Now they just hype. And I was like, oh, Lord, I'm going to put my hand on somebody's child. They touch my kid, because that's how they act now.
Yeah.
And I felt that rah-rah coming back in me. And I felt like I'm about to, everything I didn't change in my life, I'm about to do a 360 and go back the other way. And I was like, I got to come back to San Antonio. I got to come somewhere where I can be the authentic me. And people care enough about you here where you can kind of teach them some things. They might not want to hear it in the beginning, but when they sit down and think about it and they give it to you, they start to love on you with that. That's why I'm a really great activist on the East Side, because people are willing to learn what they don't know.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that from San Antonio. But I was tired of being the only chocolate in the malt around here. What does that mean? Every time I would show up somewhere, everybody but me would be at everywhere I was at. And then I'm the one who got to have the answers for everybody who looked like me.
Yeah.
And I can't answer them questions. Sometimes my mama told me, when you start understanding what crazy people do, you just as crazy as they are.
Mm.
So I don't want to never get to that point. So I don't never want to understand. So I can't speak on it,
No, I understand what you're saying, because I grew up on the East Side. I grew up in Denver Heights. I'm from Houston. And if I would have lived in Houston with my mind frame, I would not be alive today. I was way too rough. And San Antonio was I was the anomaly in San Antonio. So there wasn't many young black boys out there like me that was wild as me. So it kind of tempered me. It took a while up until I was 30 and went to prison. They had to sit me down. Like life had to sit me down and really for me to start thinking about it. But I am appreciative of San Antonio's slowness for that, because I know if I were in Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, with my mind frame, my attitude, disposition, nah, I wouldn't be here. I got a too smart a mouth. I like to cuss out cops. You know what I'm saying? And they don't play that in other cities. Here, you can get away with a lot in San Antonio. You can get away with a lot. What have you gotten away with in San Antonio?
Driving with no license. This brother just cracking up. I'm hoping. I'm glad I can help somebody's day.
Is it driving with no license?
Man,
that's the only thing that you want to confess to her. You know what?
Yes, Lord.
I'm not trying to.
I didn't know this was that kind of confession. Hold on.
I'm not trying to get nobody hauled up, man.
Y'all ain't gonna never see this tape if I tell you what I didn't got. The safest thing I can give you is driving with no license. Well, I got one more. Dear brother, y'all can't see the brother, but this brother and I go back, and that looks real crazy because y'all don't know who I'm talking about.
They're gonna know.
Okay, but I used to. There we go.
My man Darrell, put the name.
So brother Darrell,
the star. He a black all-star.
He used to come to our sets when I was doing at this bar every Thursday. I used to come from Bible study and go to the bar. Nice. And my pastor knew exactly where I was at because he knew where I was at. We went and got the Spirit and then got immersed in some spirits. And but they would respect the mic the whole 9 yards. I had been doing it there for 2 years. And then I befriended a exotic dancer. And so she started bringing her people to the bar. First night I ever needed security in my whole life. Everything went to hell in a handbasket. And the police showed up. And because of an affiliation that I had in Chicago, all they did was tell everybody that they had to go home. Everybody should have been arrested that night. I ain't gonna tell you who. I ain't gonna tell you what police department came. But I will tell you, having that old Chicago mentality, that hustle, saved a whole lot of people from going to jail that night. But that was the only incident. And that's when I learned you can't take your dark liquor and mix it with your light liquor. You know, that's you can't. Everybody don't mix together.
Speaking of mixing together, you have an interesting dynamic, which is I've seen y'all discuss it. Not necessarily discuss it, but mention it on Facebook a couple of times. But you work with your ex-wife with your House of Harmony. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been having meetings all day today because we're excited about what's coming up this weekend.
There's no like animosity and turmoil or anything like that. And if so, like, how do y'all handle like any type of differences?
Because we
knowing y'all's previous history.
Because we talk and we can't lie to one another because we know each other's history. We know each other's backstory.
Communication.
So we just keep it a buck up front. She tell me stuff that I don't like all the time. She get on my nerves. Ooh, how do I say that again? She might say some things to make me a little bit perturbed. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
But she agreed like I did. I needed to hear whatever was said. I needed to hear that. And your real friends are the only ones who gonna really tell you they're gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
And then the people who gonna keep it a buck with you, them the ones you keep around you.
Yeah.
You know, and her business major is finance. She know how to make money. I wasn't blessed with that gift. I know how to make money. But again, she know how to make the money make money.
Yeah.
So let me go out here and do what I know how to do and then pass it on to let her do what it's gonna do with it. You know, because being in this field, you be looking for sponsors and people to bless you with stuff. I went up to some people and they already saw the hoodlum in me. They was like, we'll give you $50. We'll donate $25 and walk off, and you'd be so frantic because you done got $25. She walk up in there and walk away with a stack. And then amenities behind that.
Yeah.
Because she know what to do, what to ask for, how to present. So she lets me be the wild creative on this side, and she private military, so she keep that mindset with her, and we make the best team. I wouldn't want to have another better business partner.
And so some people might say that's like non-traditional. Have you gotten any flack from people? Because I honestly believe that our success is dictated off of that relationship, that one side helps the other side, two sides of the same coin. You got to have the male energy, you got to have female energy, that balance, and you can drive more market that way, in my opinion. When you're missing one or the other, it's going to be hard. I'm not saying that you can't do it, without one or the other, it's just so much better when you have both. So have you gotten any flack from anybody though?
You know, the only people who I've gotten flack from, how do I say this? The dating scene is real picky for me right now because there's a lot of women who don't believe when I say that that's my business partner, that that's it and that's all. That's my daughter's mother, that's it and that's all. But will I protect her? That's my job. I'm a protector. You know, we've created something together. We are a family. And that's the biggest thing about the House of Harmony. We show you how all families can come together, blended, divorced, dating, the whole 9 yards. I have 4 children, 3 different mothers. All my children have my last name. And it took my third wife to show me that. She said, there's got to be something about you that everybody decided to keep their children with your last name. Most women would have just taken their own name and their kid would have been their kid now.
Yeah.
And that's it. But they all have your last name. There's an excellence that we need to learn how to walk in. My daughter doesn't have the same horror stories of a divorced family. You know, a lot of kids say, mama hate daddy and daddy ain't no good and mama ain't no good. And I never talk down to the queen. You know, but that's something I believe. I'm not going to talk. If I'm talking down to a woman, she has earned that right.
Girl, you earned this. You got this ass moving coming. You heard it.
I'm like, but you have earned that right because that's not my deal. That's not what I do. I'm a big up the queen every chance I get, and a lot of people they run it into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, they run that thing into the ground, but they don't. It's hard when somebody who lives that life for real step into the building because they done been abused by so many cats who's just using it as a mask. You know, but I live this thing. I love it, and that's what we push. What we did was we got together to create the business, and we looked at all the things that kept us apart.
Yeah.
And we wanted to start teaching on those things. Children don't know how to talk to their parents. Parents don't know how to talk to their children. They don't know how to express themselves in word. So we're going to teach you how to express yourself in word. We're going to keep your fitness right. So what we do is we offer all of these different things. She teaches a fitness class for free. Everything we do for the community is free because I remember when my mom was coming up in the community, because of them free programs, it kept me out of getting a beating from my old man because he was quick with them hands. He was quick with the drink and he was quick with them hands. And to save us from catching them hands, thank God there was a program for us to go to.
You gotta have those programs. So now I'm thinking about programs. What is something, because you're in the community, you're active in the community. So what is something you see that's not here that could be beneficial for, like, especially our local San Antonio community or other communities in general? When you see something that's not here that should be here?
Real men.
That's not a free program.
Yes, it
is. That's a very
what I mean by the process. There's no manhood training. There's no manhood training, and we miss that. So now our young men have a real prostituted way of thinking what a man is.
I'll be chiming in on that part.
What are you saying?
I will be chiming in on that.
So, man, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to think. So they would try to have things. Some people will counter. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, right? And some people will counter and say, "Well, do you have fraternities, Boy Scouts, and things of that nature? Shouldn't those be the entities that form the real men?"
Because those aren't real entities.
What are they then?
First of all, you have to understand where you come from.
That's something that's been obfuscated for a lot of black people.
Absolutely, because they don't know. You can't teach what you don't know. And so we got to have some men who are willing to bring themselves down to a level to learn, to raise themselves up so they can educate. But don't know men want to take those chances. Or the classes. And it's not hard. We need to go back to using our hands. We know to go back to gardening and plowing and doing things. Don't just wait for the remote control. Don't be the quickest one to play the video game on this. And then we start teaching them how to speak to the queen, how to speak to one another, how to articulate and get some things across. And this is going to be the hard part. And I'm going to say it, I'm probably be the first time I've ever said it out loud. You cannot be afraid to tell your children that they are God. They are God. You go to the periodic table, and the periodic table tells you everything on the periodic table is in the universe. But also everything that is on the periodic table that is in the universe is also inside of you. That's why folks from New York call themselves gods of the universe.
Oh, yeah. I love the 5%ers.
Yeah.
Our first episode, we was talking about that in the Christ Smash episode. So I agree. I got in trouble a lot for telling folks that I'm God. Like,
but here's the deal. But
I remember
can you back it up?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what people don't do. They have the God mentality without the God heart.
Right.
So it's, you got half the puzzle, you know what I'm saying? You got to piece it all together. I don't know. It's really hard, especially in the city like San Antonio with such a small black population, where that type of dialogue you can't have that type of dialogue because they want to push a standard narrative, a touristy narrative, a very safe narrative for who are black people. But understanding from me in my position, an understanding and awakening of black understanding is not peaceful. It's going to be a lot of turmoil, and there's going to be a lot of pissed off people. But for me, that type of shaking up is going to happen if this is ever going to be a true country for black people.
And the biggest first thing that we're going to have to do, honestly, stop all these schools. Because my child, I had to pull her out. COVID was a good idea. When I say that, I mean having people to
pause.
Right, to have people have their kids study at home was better for my daughter, who's now 14, who already now she knows what college she wants to go to already at 14. She knows her mission in life. She said there's too many homeless people in Texas. She said all I have to know how to do is build a house. So now she's into architecture. She made that decision at 14. Well, actually, she made that decision at 7. She's 14 now. But it came from us being the revolutionaries that we are. She learned it from the house. Your best teaching comes from the home first. We got to stop making these teachers be the babysitters that they've become. Because now they're only getting a check. Because I was in the teaching situation, and I hear them talking at the cooler. Man, I'm just checking on my check, dog. I just, we got vacation time coming up. Ain't nobody excited about these kids learning no more.
I gotta jump in on that.
Come on.
Some of what you're saying, I agree. But you're gonna get that in any profession. There's gonna be some people that's just there for the check. But some of that is created because so much is asked for the teachers to do, and they get beat down. And there's never anything that you can do to be successful. And I know I was an excellent teacher. I saw and worked with excellent teachers, but you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And each year, more is required. And I can't only speak on Texas because this is where I work. But as a group, when teachers have success, the way the political system is set up, the very next year, the state legislature is going to change the rules because you had success. So it must not have been hard enough. So let's change it and make it harder. We can pile more stuff on you. And then when that year comes through and we don't do as well, I'm sorry, teachers. Too much is asked.
Now, I give you that, but I will say this. It's only asked because we're not holding parents accountable.
There we go.
We're not holding parents accountable. And I agree with that, because being a teacher as well, I'm like, why was I able to do all of these things? And then it seemed like it was under the rug. The pay is lesser, you know. And I go back and I talk to people about it. I say, you remember when they dropped the bomb Hiroshima? They dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed everything. And what them folks decided to do is they were going to put their money to what was important. They were going to build up their children, and they were going to build up this education system. And now you turn around and look at them same folks who are the catalysts, the descendants of Hiroshima. They number one in electronics. They number one because they put their money where their mouth was. They made the priority what it should have been. It should have been these young people, and we don't do that. Mm-mm. We want you to be the next Denzel. Or you got to have the next rap record. You know, we don't bless the people who know how to work agriculture. We don't bless the farmers. You know, doctors get more money and they say they practice in medicine. That just gives you the leeway. You ain't got to get it right. You just spend some money and you got the damn coat.
Very astute assessment. Okay, all right. So you've been dropping words of wisdom already.
I'm
but
old.
Do you have any final words of wisdom for the people?
People ask me, they try to figure out what Mondrea is all about. And I can tell you like this. I have this little poem. It's going to be a big poem one day. It's going to be one of them signatures that I'm going to have to do everywhere. But the frame of the poem is, I took trips on ships with no sheets. Now let that marinate for a second. I took trips on ships with no sheets. But when you go to history class, the teacher can talk for the first 30 minutes and never involve anyone who looks like me in history. I can't live like that. My spirit won't rest like that. My ancestors won't rest like that. And so my mission, who Mondrea is to push that narrative, to let them know, again, that I am God. And I'm not like, oh, I have superpowers, and I have an understanding of what our people went through to get to this point. And if so many of us connect together like that, we become unstoppable. For those who read the Bible, they talk about all you need is the faith of a mustard seed. It wasn't like just because now you got the superpower and you can break things down. But if you had enough people thinking the same way, you can shift this planet. You can shift the world. And you become unstoppable. That's why they want us to be so apart from one another. They don't want poets to connect. Because you saw how powerful the Renaissance era was.
Oh, yeah.
Them writers, them poets, them musicians, them cats were shaking the world because they came together. That's why San Antonio, okay, that's the biggest thing. I'm going to pay those over here, and I'm going to make the singers upset with the poets, and I'm going to make this upset with that, and nobody never connects.
Well, hopefully we get some connections going. Mondrea, thank you for being on Dojo Slamurai. Really appreciate you coming through. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Harold's Chicken.
The sponsor.
Hot damn.
Well, I was shopping for a new car. Which one's me? A cool convertible or an SUV? Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, cause now I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Saw their ads on my TV. Thought about going but was too lazy. Now instead of looking fly and rolling fat, my legs are sticking to the vinyl and my posse's getting laughed at. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
And we're back, the Dojo Slamurai. My next guest needs a slight introduction, and I'm going to let her do that for herself because she's a powerful Black woman. Her name is Miss Erica Powers. Erica, please tell the people a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. Well, I am in the process of a rebuilding phase. I've been rebuilding myself after some pretty tragic things that have happened, and I have decided to get into the entertainment industry. So I'm an event planner. I focus on tea parties and dating type of events, believe it or not. But I'm also an MC, so I focus on other events as well.
Okay.
So I would say that's probably it in a nutshell.
Those events, those type of events, what's your favorite ones to do?
Well, tea parties is my thing. Tea parties is my jam every day of the week. I don't care if it's a big tea party, little tea party, business tea party, personal tea party. That's my jam first. Secondly, I would say the dating events. Those are a lot of fun. I do a lot of date nights and speed dating, and mixers and things like that. So I would say those two are probably the top.
Mixers and tea party. I've never been to a tea party, but I've always wanted to do I'm talking about like drug infused one, Alice in Wonderland tea type party. You know, because Alice in Wonderland always evokes psychedelics to me. You know what I'm saying? All really nice and trippy.
Yeah,
Have you thought about doing like a drug trippy?
I actually have. There was I called it the Twisted Tea Party. And it was to infuse the teas with some things and alcohols and different things like that to just have a good time with comedy also mixed in there because everything's going to be funnier.
Yes,
That was the idea. So planning events in San Antonio, though, it has its challenges occasionally. So I've started expanding my market to Houston. And some of those types of events, might be a little bit easier. I have to promote really hard here sometimes, it seems. So I think every event planner understands that. Yeah.
All the time here.
Yeah.
I have a friend, she's a hairdresser. She's also an instructor at Palo Alto College for estheticians and cosmetology. And she does her own thing as well, locks and in-home hair care. But most of her clients are in Houston. Yeah. She had moved to Houston because better opportunities, more money. Then she got a good deal with Palo Alto, come do the schooling there. But she still is worth her time to travel to Houston. Yeah. So what speaking of the difficulties, what are some of the difficulties you have experienced here?
In the topic of events or just what are we
promoting your events?
Oh, well, promoting the events
has a Black woman here in San Antonio.
Well, just anyone. Because I attended what was it called? I can't think of the name of that function. Man, it escapes me right now. But I attended a function last year, and a panelist, an event planner, he specifically said, if you're struggling with promoting events, it's not you, it's kind of nationwide since COVID. That was what he said. In my mind, I started doing events before COVID, so I know San Antonio already has an issue, and then there's after COVID.
Yeah.
So San Antonio, we call it a big, small city.
Yeah.
So when I was at home raising kids, it was perfect for me. I lived in my bubble, and it was fine. Now that I'm single and I'm out in entertainment, I understand what people have been saying all this time. It's a big, small town, so it's great for raising families. It's slower. So when it comes to events and people getting out, they're not always out. They're talking about going to work, talking about raising kids, just kind of retired thinking, less party thinking, less move forward thinking. I've also heard, talking to some of the local artists, it's hard to get support in San Antonio. So it's just a small, big town. It's a big, small town.
Yeah.
The mindset is different here.
It's really family friendly. It's
family.
Something I learned really kind of stuck out to me when I was taking my culinary class, because one of the things that we have to take is tourism. Mm-hmm. We have to understand that, and San Antonio is huge on tourism. It's a lot of their for a while, it was like the number one source of income from people in San Antonio and all the industries that surround tourism. So if you notice, that's what they promote. That's where they actually put the dollars at. Mm-hmm. Anything that's tourist and family friendly.
Right.
And that's typically not a singles event or a singles mixer or even a night out for a couple, because couples, there's maybe like one dinner theater here, like, but you can't. Like, how many times have you heard anybody doing dinner theater in San Antonio?
I don't know. I hear about it because
it used to be, but it's.
I hear about it because I talk to event planners and stuff, but I always say San Antonio is an event city. We don't seem to sustain regular. Like, if it used to be a dinner theater, if someone has an event that's a murder mystery dinner or whatever, cool. But to sustain it on a regular basis is harder here. We just our population doesn't seem to want to regularly go out that often. So if you have something, it's not. If people open a club, they open a lounge. It doesn't. Sometimes it struggles. We don't seem to always want to be up. It's just like when occasionally. So events is good because it's not sustainable here to constantly be up on this level. That's just not what we do here in San Antonio, apparently. So
shoots. Some people will say dating ain't what we do here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
It ain't something to do around the world.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Well, I'm new to the dating scene, but I can say so. I'm the type of person, I observe a lot. So I'm not out there spreading my opinions everywhere because I like to observe. But when I have something to say, I have no problem saying it. And I stand on it because I've made observations before I open my mouth. And so I'm new to the dating scene. So I can't say that I've had a lot of experience, but I've been collecting information. Even before I got divorced, I started the dating events back then. And back then, I even noticed the huge difference between what men were looking for and what women were looking for. And I noticed that thing, and it stuck out. And I said, wow, this is a big issue. I also noticed how delusional I think a lot of women are when it comes to dating. I think they need reality checks. And I think they give females a bad rap and a bad name. And I think they need to do a lot of rethinking. So that's something I noticed before I got divorced. Now that I am single, my observations have been not the. I'll be honest, they're not the same that I'm hearing other people say, because I look at life a little bit differently. But what I'm observing is men say that, women here, they ask for money too quick, and they don't bring a lot to the table, or they have an attitude when they open their mouth. And then the women say that, our brown skinned brothers, they only want non-brown skinned women. So that's been my observation of what people are saying. My experience is not the same because I expect when I go out, I expect to enjoy myself. So if I go somewhere and it's a dancing spot, I expect to dance. And if I don't have the opportunity, because I think I've spoken to enough people on both sides, enough men, because I listen when they speak, that sometimes there's confidence issues, sometimes there's intimidation issues. All those things are issues. So I just kind of cancel it out. And if the time goes by and I didn't get the results I wanted, I'll open my mouth. I'm not going to go out and not start dancing because I'm waiting on somebody all night to ask me to dance. I'm not afraid of them.
You're going to get out there and cut a rug.
Get out there and cut a rug or ask somebody to dance with me. So, and same thing goes with meeting people. If I want to mingle, then I'm going to mingle. So, but my mindset seems to be the minority and not the majority.
So it sounds like people should lower their expectations.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Center their expectations.
I think people should focus differently. I think it's the expectations might not be the word. I don't want to say lower expectations because there are certain things that you might be looking for. But I will definitely say the focus is off. It needs to shift because people are focusing, like if you're a female, your focus shouldn't necessarily be on how tall he is or the dollar signs or these things before you even know who you're talking to. Because if they have all of that and then you're blinded by that and you don't even know if this man is a piece of trash.
They have zero personality.
Absolutely. Or personality or bad intentions. It's a lot. So, and then, with the guys, I don't know. I think it depends on the age range. I'm listening to guys speak and what they're looking for is a little bit different, but they seem to be a little bit more grounded in what they're looking for. They want somebody to kind of be more of a companion, in certain age ranges. Now, there's a certain age range, and I don't know what they talking about, but
under 30.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what they talk about, but the older age ranges just want some companionship.
Yeah.
So if you just want some companionship, if you find a decent human being, your focus. We should all be focused on finding a decent human being.
Yes.
Everybody should be focused on that. Why we focus on everything else? You can build on top of a decent human being. You can lose the money. I know that happened to me. I lost everything. So yeah, people are just focused on the wrong things.
All right, change of focus.
So you need to run a class.
That's what I saw, because you had a post that you put in.
I did.
In the group.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing?
I don't mind. Okay, I don't know how much what you want me to say about it.
Read whatever you want to from it. Just read. If you want to read the whole thing,
let me paraphrase.
You're more than welcome.
Let's see. I said, so I put this post out here on San Antonio Black because I went out and I just made, what I tell you, I observed people. So I'm sitting there, I was with a gentleman. So I was sitting there and I just observed these two women, and they walked by the place. It was a patio scene outside. It was a real cool vibe. Music's playing. And it was some real nice looking men in the corner over here smoking cigars and some suits. And these two brown skinned women, they walked by and then they came back and then they decided to sit down. And they were there for about 30 minutes and they took some selfies with each other. And, they had a drink, and then about 30 minutes later, they were gone. And I noticed that the guys over here never spoke to them. I noticed they never spoke to them, and they were gone. And it kind of was puzzling to me because I said, is this typical? Is this what, it seemed odd to me.
Yeah.
And so I asked the group, was this, am I tripping for expecting there could have been more mingling? I said, is it the social optimist in me that felt like it should or could have gone differently? And a lot of people chimed in, and a lot of the women had a similar commentary to say that if they were in Houston, that's when guys will approach them. I'm only talking about us, So I have a hard time saying black. I do. I don't like calling us black.
I feel you. I only say it for expedience.
I get it. But that's why.
I ain't never seen nobody black.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody.
I do have a hard time. Melanated. Thank you. Yeah. I'll say melanated. So yeah, I'm only talking about our culture and melanated people. So a lot of women had chimed in and said, yeah, that's all the time. We go out. The brothers don't talk to us. They want to talk to the Hispanic women and white women. And then the guys chimed in and they said it's because of what I said earlier.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, I'm not gathering that information from that post. I'm gathering that from just
what you see.
Just period. I talk to people and I hear, and like I said, I started collecting information on the dating scene before COVID. So just hearing people and what they're saying, I think there's not enough listening going on. Like there's a guy that I'm talking to right now, and he doesn't realize it yet, but he lost my attention when I realized the other day he wasn't listening to me.
Yeah.
You're not listening. No, he doesn't, because we don't know who he is.
He don't know who he is.
Yeah. I'm not. I've just been talking. I've just been talking to people. I just get to know. He doesn't know who he is. So yeah. I think there isn't enough listening, and then to the ladies. One thing I saw, reading different comments, and I noticed some of the men left some really intelligent comments. And I'm a little partial, I'll be honest, because a lot of the ladies, their comments were more emotional, and it's kind of like that. It's not like this, it's not like that. And that was my observation.
Yeah.
It was more attitude or more complaining versus understanding what they're saying. A lot of them were saying the same things I've observed from men that aren't from San Antonio, that haven't been here forever, that are from somewhere else, and they say the women here are fill in the blank, what I said earlier. I think there's just a problem. People aren't listening to each other, because you could listen to what the opposite sex is saying, and you could go far if you pay attention to the voids that are there.
Oh yeah. Because I had put a similar post in there, and they deleted it. I took some screenshots of it.
They deleted it?
Yes.
I ain't deleted it. It's my post, but they deleted it.
They deleted my post. I have said
you must say something bad. What you
No, say? I had just said, I had asked, because I was like, there were women that were complaining about black men not being attracted to black women here in San Antonio. And so all I said was, for the black men that do love black women, what are some of the things you would consider a good date? Because and I said, fellas, pay attention, because I'm trying to get them to listen, because I understand that's a huge problem. There's a lot of ego here in San Antonio.
Oh man,
there's a lot of
heard that a lot.
Chase the money, chase the money, chase the money, and you got all these kings with no fucking kingdoms.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it's like, bro,
king of what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of my first turnoffs with a woman. Hey, king. No, I got kids, I got child support debt, I'm a felon. You say what's up nigga to me or some shit like that. None of this hey king stuff. But I had put that in there, and some guy had started going off on the girls, and I said, you're missing the point of the post, bro. In there I said, listen to the women. And I think, and it goes back to what you had said earlier, more real men. A real man is going to be able to sit and listen to a woman, and not just in one ear out the other, process what's being said and take to heart. More importantly, take to heart what's being said, and not try to just downplay it, emotional as women. So I don't know, that in my opinion. But you had said you was going to chime in on about the real men.
Yeah, because I think it was touching on some of those topics that I've been observing and talking to people about. It from a foundational level, there's a lot missing. On that topic of what a real man is. And it's just, unfortunately, it's like a domino effect. And those that are doing what they're supposed to do, of course, they will stand out. But I think that's the problem. It's going to become more of an issue if we don't pay attention, because it sounds like, well, that ain't me. It's an individualized, issue. That ain't me. But it does affect us. It affects us culturally. It affects us as a community. When you don't have enough brothers talking to each other to talk about what they need to fix. In my personal life, my ex, he definitely got out of control. After I filed for divorce, he snapped. There were no men in his life with no pastor, no dad, no brothers of any, sustenance. No one, his ego was very unchecked. Yeah. And so there was no community to tell him not to put his hands on me, not to put his hands on his girls, not to do the things that he's been doing. And so I've seen a lot of that and heard a lot of that. And I think you have to care about, who's alongside of you, because if you don't, then everybody's just going to sink at the same time. Yeah. So we already got, the country trying to take us out. We don't need to be taking us out too. And from the standpoint of, I'm not talking about black on black crime. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about basic, fundamental growing, like you said, sitting at the dinner table, all those things that we lack, microwave society. It's just going to continue to get worse. So I think we have to care about what a man is, and don't demand something from a woman if you don't understand what a man is in the first place. So men shouldn't have to question whether or not they need to, work on each other. And the same thing with women too. But I think with women, the company that I keep, we are going to build each other up. We're going to correct each other when we're wrong. The company, I don't keep ratchet company. That's just the way it is, And so I can't speak to that. I can only speak to the company that I keep. Yeah. But women, we don't have an issue with closeness and intimacy and, talking and tea time and hanging out and girls trips and all those times where the tears come, confessions come, talking about things we need to talk about, getting it out, building each other up. I don't know that y'all have that.
That's not a structure that's taught to men, let alone black men. Like that. The structure for us is that pull yourself up by your bootstraps, be tough enough, never let them see you cry. That, that mentality, we had this mentality of just, for me, it's a mold to keep you in your place.
Well, foundationally speaking, where are they going to get that from? Because we just talked about, and we're just talking about San Antonio right now. Yeah. And I know different cities are different, but let's just talk about San Antonio. Let's say San Antonio doesn't culturally get men and women that are melanated to talk to each other when they're in a similar space, to say, hey, how are you doing? Or, would you like company? Whatever it is y'all say. Let's say that we don't end up having to happen and it continues where women they don't talk to us. So now you have no families. Yeah. families that are raising kids that are having dinner together, that are having conversations together, that are resolving these tough issues together. And if I got to raise 5 kids with the struggles against the legal system because it's expensive and I got to figure out how to make money, I got this stupid exorcist outside my house and stalks people. If I got to deal with all of that by myself and there's nobody else to help me with that, then now we're talking about, well, am I angry? Am I the angry black woman? So, and then I'm raising the child who now is constantly angry because his mama was always struggling. So when do you fix it? So that's what I mean by people have to talk and figure out where the disconnect is. And I think a lot of it has to do, I'm not a man, I don't, but I talk to a lot of men and I'm listening to y'all. And I think it would be helpful if you learn to hold each other accountable for killing the things that are problematic, for crying or for getting it out or whatever, not continue to carry on those concepts because, when men share tears with me, I have no issue with it. You need to get that out. I read a book by Jennifer Lewis on a girls trip one time and that stuck with me. And she was like, when stuff like that happens, you cannot hold that stuff in. You got to get that out. And so I think that's the problem with y'all. You're talking about, it would be, I would be honest with you, it would be a big challenge for a man to come to my life and try to be the leader of my household. I'm not saying that there's a submission issue. That's not what this is about. This is about what I had to survive because of the hands of another melanated man. So we already have, where is that bar? Where's the barometer of me understanding that you're going to be able to handle that balance? And it's possible. I've dated somebody that I was like, okay, it's, they're out there. It happens. But, we have to be very sensitive to those issues. We have to be intentional with those solutions. And we have to make sure that we do our part to connect people. And
we connected.
Yeah.
We got people here that do events.
Yes.
So we connected now.
Okay.
We can keep the connections going. I hope that y'all do link up and have, more discussions. Maybe we can have some type of, black men sit down or just a black community sit down, figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
We need more of that going on, and I don't see a lot of it.
I don't either. And I also don't see people doing what they say they're going to do. And I'll be honest. I'm going to say this. When it comes to events, I don't go out a lot because I can't trust that people are going to do what they say they're going to do. So I don't see a lot of events that I want to attend. So when I create an event, I want it. It's always what I said it's going to be. Now, I can't account for who buys a ticket and who comes in the room, but I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. Yes. But I don't go out a lot because too many times I've been burned in San Antonio by people that think they're an event planner or think they're going to throw an event. You didn't plan out the logistics. You didn't plan out all the parts that go into it and make sure that me as a participant, am I getting the experience, the right experience? So I'm just saying everybody shouldn't be doing everything.
Well, Erica, before you leave, how about you give the people some words of wisdom before you go? And then when we'll come back, we'll be playing the game without decency. Y'all, that's what they ready for. That's what they be waiting for. But give the people some words of wisdom before you go.
Oh my goodness, words of wisdom. Ugh, I wasn't ready. I would say we've been talking about dating, so we'll stick to the topic of dating. Just adjust your perspective. Perspective is everything. It doesn't matter what it is that you're facing. There's a lot of lemonade that I've made from these lemons, and people can do the same. So it's all about perspective. Don't come into a room full of expectations, because then your expectations may not be met. If you adjust your perspective, you probably can find something amazing out of every situation.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Miss Erica Powers. Stay tuned, because we'll be playing the game without decency right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me. Kid sister, kid sister, kid sister, kid sister. Wherever I go, you're gonna go. Kid sister, kid sister, kid sister, kid sister, kid sister and me.
My Buddy and Kid Sister, each sold separately from Play School.
And we're back.
All right. It's time to play my favorite game.
You look a little psycho.
The game without decency.
I'm a little
excited.
nervous.
Can you tell I'm excited? All right. So, Erica and Moderna have.
There it is. I was waiting for that one. Moderna. The virus around here, man.
Erica and Mondrea have agreed on 3 cards. Y'all know how this goes. You're going to use whatever words you can to fill in the blank. It don't have to be one word. You can put whole sentences, whole phrases in there. Okay. I'm going to give y'all an example so we know what's going on. Blank ran for president on a strong platform of using blank has a national defense. Blank ran for president on a strong platform of using blank has a national defense.
Trump ran for president
on a strong platform
of using ignorant people as his defense.
Okay, so we all know how to play this. All right. So
that was pretty good though. Because I was going to say he was going to use the Bible.
Say whatever you will. Whoever tickle my pickle, make me think or drop my drink, wins. Whoever has the most cards in the end gets the prize. Oh shit. Yeah. I left the prize outside, didn't I?
It's okay. You can cut it in later.
You know what? You're absolutely correct.
It's fine.
Let's keep rocking. All right.
It's fine.
The first card. In Kentucky, it is he's already pissed off. In Kentucky, it is illegal to keep blank in your underwear unless you are blank. In Kentucky, it is illegal to keep blank in your underwear unless you are blank.
In Kentucky, it's illegal to keep
weed in your underwear unless you're one of the envelope people.
Okay, all right. I don't either.
But
the envelope people are the non-melanated people.
Oh, that's a funny way to say white people.
Right, the envelope people.
Okay, all right. Went over here.
Okay, Erica, what you got?
In Kentucky, it's illegal to keep. I'm struggling with this one. To keep. I don't know. Nothing. I'm drawing all blanks.
Do you pass?
I hate passing.
That's right. I'm melanated for real. I ain't passing for nothing.
I don't know. I'm about to throw something stupid. I was better than passing. It's illegal to keep.
A goat in your pants.
What?
A goat, unless you married.
You gonna? How many times you gonna answer?
Oh, I'm just helping. I'm trying her brain. Go to the sublime, if you will.
It's illegal to keep sausage in your pants unless you're German.
Okay.
I told you.
I like that one. That makes sense. Erica, you get that one. Okay.
I like that.
All right. Next card. Your dad was extreme.
Wait. I want to read the next card.
Okay, all right. Make sure you hold it up to the right.
Do it theatrical, though.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
Wow.
There it is.
Why is it that the blank invites 3 people over, but only allows blank to play?
Okay. What? Read it one more time. Why is it that?
Why is it that the host invites 3?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Why is it the blank invites 3 people over, but only allows blank to play?
Why is it that the single white female invites 3 people over, but only allows the big chocolate man to play?
Oh, that's what
I was gonna say. What was the question?
Okay,
I can't recreate it.
For clarity's sake, Darrell's just gonna stab me after this show because he want to play the game. Oh, sorry. But this is the real question. Your dad was extremely embarrassed to be caught with blank. Your dad was extremely embarrassed to be caught with blank.
What happened to the other question?
That wasn't a real question.
It went over our heads.
Man.
That was an area of grievances.
That was
Because I was sure going to say, why did Diddy invite 3 people over and only the R&B singer got to stay?
No, that was his passive aggressive addition to the game that went over our heads.
I missed it. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we both missed it.
That was pretty good, though.
It was convincing. It was very convincing.
That was an actor. I was caught all up in it.
I was too. I gave an answer and everything.
Okay, your question.
Yeah.
Your dad was extremely embarrassed to be caught with blank. Your dad was extremely embarrassed to be caught with blank.
Now, I'm going to preface this by saying this is not about my dad. This is about my children's dad. Okay. So, my children's dad was extremely embarrassed to be caught with pictures of the man I was dating in his home.
The teeth. The hot teeth. Oh, I had to get all the way black on that one. Goddamn. Oh, I had to get all the way black on that one. Shit. Mondrea?
He's answering. She don't want.
Mondrea?
There ain't nothing I can say that I would be alive at the end of all of this when it airs. So, to save my own life, I'm going to pass.
Mondrea passed. Erica wins the game. I give it up, Erica. Let me go grab the prize real quick so we
I couldn't say it.
That was a true statement, by the way.
And mine would have been too, but she would have seen it. Ain't no coming back from that.
We don't want you to get in trouble.
Look,
this is about togetherness.
That's why
we gotta bring our people together.
I will let somebody else
not
win.
apart.
And Mondrea, she wins. I'm Mondrea.
And then he got you some monkeys.
Erica wins.
I want you to think about
beautiful ceramic monkeys here.
Ceramic monkeys.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erica, for being on the show.
You need to be offended.
No,
you.
Because I can I can name
Mondrea.
Yeah, not Mondero.
Mondrea Harmon.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for being on Dojo Slamurai. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Look at the monkeys.
All right, cut this shit.
Can we talk about these monkeys again?
Cut this
I got a
shit
commercial
off.
about these monkeys.
Cut this shit
These 2
off.
monkeys right here. They not even seeing no evil.
Right, I thought they were gonna be seeing evil.
They ain't doing. They
just sitting
He
there.
gave
They
you
just-
some monkeys.
They just chilling.
Yeah.
Last week's prize was a ski mask.
Okay.
I done took the ski mask.
You know,
Right.
there's some value in the ski mask.
Right. Because when money get funny, I can use that ski mask.
Let me see what else I got.